Hey guys, I'm gonna try to wait a little bit to see if anybody comes on. I hope everybody has had an awesome beginning of the new year, 2021. Hope you had a great weekend as we are gearing up for those of us who have been off. I've been off for about 2 weeks now. So, getting geared up to go to work tomorrow and getting my mind right. So, I think our self care talk is coming in on a good day, a very good day, so we can get ourselves and our minds right to get back into that work world and still take care of ourselves in the midst of everything. So one thing that I've really been trying to work on this go round when it comes to my self care talk is being organized. I'm really big on doing things in excellence. I don't want to just get up here and just talk randomly and y'all like, what are you talking about? So definitely try to plan to have more of a format for how our self care talks will go. When we talked last Sunday, I actually did my face cleaning routine while we were up here because every time I come up here, I want to be able to showcase and show some different self-care you can do at home. So as you're thinking about what your self-care plan could look like, you'll have some options and some things that we've kind of talked about. Please, at any time, put messages in here. This is very interactive between me and you. We're going to just talk about it, even though I do have a format and how I want to do it. So we are going to participate in 2 self-care activities while we guys are talking. Um, for those that got on last Sunday, I want to recap a little bit about what we talked about. So we talked a lot about being intentional. So I think it's really important that when we're trying to start something new in our very, 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 very busy lives, that we be intentional in all that we do. So like on my email messages, on my voicemail messages, I always end it with be intentional in all that you do and make it a great day. Because in order for us to reach the goals that we have in our life, we have to be intentional. We have to do it. It's very easy to be like, oh, I want to work out today. And then life gets busy and you being a mom or being a dad or whatever you have going on happens and you never get a chance to get to whatever that activity is that you were trying to do. So you have to be intentional. You have to be thoughtful. You have to come up with a self-care plan. I said to y'all guys last time, if you don't know what a self-care plan is, if you need help with a self-care plan, let me know. Shoot me an email at naturallyshaboo@gmail.com. I have tons of formats. I can email it to you. I can help you go over how to develop a self-care plan, or you can get a notebook. I keep notebooks. I always have binder. I always have notebooks with me, just regular old 99-cent notebooks. I'm a big paper and pen person, so this is my 2020, 2021 calendar that I write in and I try to motivate myself in it. As you can see, I've already started writing for January. So that I can be intentional in a lot that I do this year. And the only way to be intentional is I have to hold myself accountable. So before we get into kind of the knowledge that I wanted to kind of give to y'all this week, I wanted us to take a moment to do a mindful moment. So I'm not really sure if you've ever heard of a mindful moment before, but a mindful moment is mindfulness. And this is a big hot topic word right now. And mindfulness is taking moments, doing different activities to help keep your brain down, keep your brain online, keep you in a very good place. But again, being intentional, doing different activities. So we're going to do a mindful moment, which is going to focus on breathing. So I think I have everything set up okay. So we're going to try to get this set up. I should only have to hit this button. It's a 3-minute activity. So we're going to do it together. And then we're going to go into some further conversation. All right, let's see if I know what I'm doing. Okay.
Mindful breathing. Close your eyes and rest your hands on your knees. Bring your attention to the touch of your body on your seat. Feel the weight of your body on your chair or cushion. Make sure that your back is straight and that you're comfortable. Take a few deep breaths. While you're breathing deeply, Relax your shoulders, your stomach muscles, the muscles in your face, your hands, and your legs. Let go of all the tightness in your body. Now bring your attention back to your breath. Notice what it feels like as it enters through your nose, goes down through your throat, filling your lungs, and back out through your nose. Notice your stomach and chest rise and fall each time you breathe in and each time you breathe out. And just allow your breathing to be natural and relaxed. Now bring your attention to the feeling of your breath in your nose. Feel your breath as it comes in and goes out. Just focus on this sensation, paying attention to each time you breathe in and each time you breathe out. As you inhale, maybe your breath feels cool. And as you exhale, maybe it feels a little warmer. When your mind wanders, or if you become distracted, just notice what's going on in your head, and then gently bring your attention back to your breath, going in and out. Focus on the feeling of your breath and allow thoughts and feelings to come and go in the background. Now gently bring your attention back to the touch of your body on your seat and open your eyes.
All right, so I'm gonna get rid of our mindful moment. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I mean, I did. I actually probably feel too relaxed. I hope I don't forget the things that I wanted to talk about. But the mindful moments are good. As you can see, I just went on YouTube. I typed in 3 to 5 minute mindful moment, mindfulness activity, and it popped up. So like when I'm at work and I'm feeling overwhelmed because there's so much that I need to do or there's so much responsibility, there are times that I shut my door, I do a quick 3 minute mindfulness activity just to get me in a better place so that I'm not feeling overwhelmed. And this is self-care, right? This is self-care. Who wants to be in a situation or be at work and you're just feeling crazy? And it happens because there's so many needs. There's so many deadlines, there's so many papers that are due, there's so many people that you need to talk to, you got supervise. I mean, it's just a lot that you have going on in the work world. And so the mindfulness, it does help. It really does. It gives you that moment. If you don't have time to go on YouTube and look it up while you're at work, you could take 2 minutes and do deep breathing. And deep breathing is not just like what I'm doing right now to live. Deep breathing is being intentional. Like we keep using that word, being intentional, taking a deep breath in, holding it, and then releasing it. And that just helps everything in your body come to a certain level so that you can think logically and think clearly. In the world that I do, we learn how our kids and how ourselves, how we flip our lids. I mean, we really do. Our thinking brain pops open and all we're thinking with is our basic instincts, which is what? Fight, flight, fear, freeze. We go into those things. Our bodies are doing what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to go into basic instincts to keep us safe. But in certain situations, you can't freeze, you can't fight, you can't run, you can't do those things. And so to help us get our thinking brain, get our logical brain back on, we have to do different things to help us get to a place to be able to receive that. And so that's what that mindful moment was for. So if you ever have a chance, just YouTube it. It's really easy. Type 3 to 5 minutes. They have longer mindful moments. They have shorter ones. A good 3 minutes is normally what's good. At my job, whenever we have meetings, we start off with mindful moments just to help us. With our students in the school, we do mindful moments with them. They understand that terminology. So that's something that you can put in your bucket list of your self-care bucket list. So far we have taking care of yourself. So I demonstrated that last week when I was doing my facial cleanse. We now have mindful moments that you can put in, either mindful moments or mindfulness. And so with us being intentional this year and the things that we do, I want to make sure that we also give ourselves permission. God, isn't that easy? Like easy to say, but hard to do. I can't tell y'all how many times that I feel guilty when I'm at home just chilling on my couch. I'd be like, God, it's something I should be doing. I probably should be doing something else. I probably should be checking an email. I probably should be sending a message. I probably should be doing something for my business. I probably should be doing cooking. I probably should be cleaning. I literally feel guilty when I take moments to sit still. And that's because I wasn't giving myself permission to take care of myself. So we can be intentional. We can come up with a plan all we want to. We could say, all right, I have this awesome self-care plan. Every day for 1 week, I am going to take 5 minutes to take care of myself. Look, Sharonda, I did it. I got that down. But if you don't give yourself permission to be able to execute it, it still doesn't matter. It is okay for us to take care of ourselves, our individual self. It is okay. We feel great when we take care of our friends, when we take care of our family. All those things are great. They're acceptable. But when we talk about doing things for yourself to make yourself feel good, we can feel guilty for that. So it has to be okay for us to give ourselves permission to say, hey, right now, this is what I need to do for me. It is this, I have to do this for me. When I come home every day, and this might have something to do with me being the only child, I don't know, and I got 2 kids, and so that's a lot, going from always being by yourself, and you have children who want your attention, need your attention, doing what they're supposed to do. They look up to you as the adult in their life. But my kids know when I come home from work, I have to decompress. I have to. I can't focus. I need to be able to have a good 10 minutes in my room by myself just to breathe, say, okay, that stuff I was doing earlier today is done with. Now it's time for me to put on my hat, my second hat of the day, and be mommy. And it's okay for me to do that. It's no reason why I should feel guilty for taking time for myself. So I'm telling you the same thing. Don't feel guilty for taking time for self-care. Because if you don't take care of yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually, if you're not doing those things, you're not gonna be good for anybody. And like if you're the foundation for your household, if this is the foundation and the foundation is weak, everything's gonna fall. Like it has no choice, it has nothing to build on. So in order to have something to build on, you got to take that time for yourself. Come up with that self-care plan. Get back to the essence of who you are. What are some things that make you happy? I love painting. Now, I told y'all last week, I do believe in self-care. So I find different activities to do. So I love to paint. So on New Year's Day, my children and I, we did a painting activity and we focused in on doing different goals for the year. So kind of like a vision board, but it was with painting. And you can't, I'm gonna see if I can lift my camera up. So that's my painting right there. Ooh, right, right there. Ooh, gosh, everything backwards. Right there. That is what I painted. My daughter did a great job of outlining it for me. I painted her, and then I wrote all around her. I wrote words of things that I want to focus in on this year because that's something that's important to me. It's something that gives me joy and it relaxes me. So take the time, be intentional this year. Be intentional on what self-care looks like for you. And it could be small things. It doesn't have to be taking a trip, or it doesn't have to be going running 5 miles every day. It could literally just be sitting still for 5 minutes. Try that for a little bit. Try to sit still for 5 minutes every day. And it's going to be hard because, like I said, you're going to feel guilty. You're going to be like, God, there's so much more I could do, but I'm just sitting here. But give yourself permission to sit there. Just say it's okay. Like, it's okay for me to sit here 5 minutes every day, to give myself time to breathe, to give myself time to process my day, and then move on, and then maybe in the second week that you do it, you add something else to it. Oh, I really like to cook. My life's so busy, but I'm going to make sure I cook breakfast every morning. That's what I said. I'm going to make sure I cook breakfast. And the more that you do it, the more that you're consistent, the happier that you'll be, the more like yourself that you will be. I mean, like, I'm not just saying this because I'd have been in school and that's what, literally, I have lived this. I working as a social worker, life is beyond busy. And so, like I told y'all last week, I work full time in the school system. I have two businesses that are very, very, very active and very, very needy. I'm active in my church. I run a ministry there. I'm a mom of two very busy children who have lots of needs. I'm dating. I'm just doing a lot right now. And if I didn't take the time and give myself permission to take care of myself throughout this time, I would just I would feel overwhelmed. I would feel overwhelmed. And when we feel overwhelmed, that's when we start maybe not making the best decision. We could be avoidant. We can avoid situations and you don't even realize you're avoiding it. It kind of be like, I was going to work today, but I'm going to call in. Why you calling in? Ask yourself, why you calling in? No reason. I'm just going to call in. I ain't going today. Or I'm supposed to be at such and such, but I ain't going to do it. And that's that avoidant personality. And that's actually something that happened to me personally. I became avoidant because I was overwhelmed and not taking care of myself. Your jobs will set up like FMLA and medical leave and things like that for you when you're feeling like you need that mental health break and those type of things. But before you get to that mental health break, that's what I'm talking about. Before you get there, before you at that mental health place where you're like, I can't even come into this job right now. I can't even be the best me I can be because I need something to help me. Before you get there, try these steps of self-care. Try these moments where you're like, it seems so small and like it wouldn't matter. Like it seemed like it wouldn't matter to sit still for 5 minutes. But the more you do it, you'll see that it's filling your cup. Right? It's filling your cup up. Like you have an empty cup and you cannot pour and help anybody else out if your cup is empty. So fill your cup up with small things. And the more you do it, the higher your cup gets. The more you feel good, the more that you have all these great feelings, so that when you have to pour into somebody else's cup, you have it to pour, And so I just, so giving yourself permission to be able to take those times and to love on yourself is really important. And it's funny because I was talking to one of my friends about this self-care talk that I'm doing every week and just letting her know how important this is to me. Like, I want to get it for me. I want to get it for my family, but I want my friends to get it too. I want the community to get it because I just know that it will be so much more helpful. And as I was talking about that intentionality, like how to be intentional and the things that you should do, the thought permission came up. And that's how I got into the talk for today. Like, God, we don't give ourselves permission to do much of anything. It's like you got to be busy, 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 busy until it's nighttime and you pass out and go to sleep. And because you've been so busy, 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 your brain is busy, 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 busy. So when you're sleeping, you're not even getting into deep sleep. Like rapid eye movement, you're not getting into that because you're used to going, 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 going. You're laying down. So your brain is not getting into deep sleep. You wake up in the morning, you're like, God, I woke up tired. I'm still tired. That happens to me. I'm still tired. I'll be tired. I went to bed at 9 o'clock. But when you don't take that time to allow your body to rest and be okay, your body doesn't know how to do it. So we have to train our bodies to do it. Give yourself permission to train your body to self-love and self-care. And like I said, it doesn't have to be huge. And if you really need like some ideas, that's what this conversation is for. It's not just about me talking to y'all guys. Y'all talk to me too. Let me know. Are y'all guys self-caring? Are there some things that you're doing that you don't mind sharing? And we can share with other people. Maybe people don't have an idea of how to self-care or what to do. That's what this conversation is for. This conversation is to come up with ideas of ways and then do it. Like every single Sunday, I'm going to be here. Like rain, sleet, snow, whatever. I'm just in my bedroom. I'm going to be here to have the conversation. So you can try something one week and say, you know what, when Sharonda up here on Sunday, we're going to talk about that thing because it works so good and I think somebody else should do it. Or I tried to do this and maybe I didn't do it right. So that's what this conversation is for. So if you take the moment to be intentional, right? Be intentional about self-care, to say, I am going to have a self-care plan. I am going to put this on my plan and I'm going to do it. And then give yourself permission to do it. Tell yourself, Sharonda, talk to yourself, Sharonda, it is okay for you to take these moments for self-care. So I'm saying to you, it is okay for you to take moments for self-care, because at the end of the day, it's going to make you a better person. It's going to make you love on you, because in this world we have all these different titles, right? So like for me, what, I'm a mom, I'm a daughter, I am a cousin, I am an employer, I am an entrepreneur boss lady, I am a dance instructor, I am a CEO. I was like, all these lovely titles are attached to my name, right? So what comes with those titles? Responsibilities, right? Every single title that's attached to my name has a responsibility that says you're supposed to do A, B, C, and D. So while I'm trying to balance, right? I got that I'm juggling. All right. So from 7 till 3, I am a school social worker. Got that. All right. Now 24/7, I'm a mom. I'm a dance instructor and a CEO entrepreneur from about 5 to 9 every day. Throughout the day, I'm a CEO making body butters all the time. Like, I have all these things I'm trying to just juggle all day long, just juggling. So when do I have time just to be Sharonda, right? Like November 15th, 1979, I was born. And I was born as Sharonda before I was any of these other titles. I was me. And I learned, great things about me. I learned things that I like, things I didn't like, things I like to eat, activities I like to do. I learned all these things. And when these other titles came on, some of those stuff went away, right? So some of those things went away, the things that were the essence of who I am. So I had to give myself permission, Sharonda. It is okay for you to paint in your bedroom. Sharonda, it is okay for you to take an hour to read your book. Sharonda, it is okay for you to sit on your bed and just do nothing. It is okay. It is okay to do that. And I didn't feel okay with it just because I said it immediately. I still felt guilty. And I'm going to be honest, I still feel guilty sometimes now. But when those guilty moments come, I say, girl, it is okay for you to have these moments, because how can you take care of everybody else? How can you come up with brilliant ideas? How can you hear God? How can I hear what God is trying to tell me to do? Because again, I have faith. I have faith that anything that he tells me can be executed. But how can I hear him if I got so much going on and I'm not being still and I'm not doing self-care and I'm not doing those things? That's how important it is. If you're trying to go to the next level of whatever you feel, whatever God has told you, whatever direction you're trying to go in, how can you go there when your mind and everything is so bogged down because you got all these things going on and you forget about you? You forget about you in the midst of everything. So give yourself permission to self-care. I promise you, when you start, it's going to feel odd. It's going to feel unusual. You're going to be like, God, like, okay, I'm going to try it, and you're going to feel guilty about taking this time for yourself. But if you're being intentional and you're giving yourself permission and you're executing it, the more you do it, the more it starts to feel like, okay, I'm starting to feel like myself again, right? I'm starting to feel like Sharonda again, and not just Miss Banks or Miss Sharonda or Coach Sharonda or Boss Lady. I'm starting to feel like myself again. And when I start to feel like myself again, I can hear what I should be focused in on and what I should be doing. So I hope y'all guys are self-caring. Like, put in the comments any self-care activities that you're doing currently, or put in the comments any self-care activities that you're interested in doing. If you're interested in receiving an email from me that has a self-care worksheet on it that helps you come up with a plan, an actual plan, like, because what is it? If we don't plan, we plan to fail. So having a self-care plan, if you don't feel like, what, I can't just do it by myself. I can't just say in my head, okay, I can do A, B, C, and D to self-care. But if you need it written down, like me, I'm like I told y'all before, I'm a paper and pen girl. So that's helpful for me. Everybody learns differently. Some visual, some auditory, all of that. So you learn differently. If you don't want a worksheet, get a notebook. Yeah, I'm so into journaling. We're gonna talk about that probably next time, journaling. But and you can journal in anything. This is 99 cent Walgreens. It cost me nothing, seriously, and a pen, and I sit here and I write down, make things written so I can see, so I can figure out, all right, Sharonda, your self-care plan for this year. I came up with a yearly self-care plan. And then from my yearly self-care plan, I broke it down. So I know the things that I want to do. And I don't have this huge grandiose idea of everything. It's just the small things, which is what I've said before. It's just the small things that's helpful to continue to love on yourself. I've seen, which is really, really, really blessed my spirit. Like on Facebook, I've been seeing a lot of people talking about self-care. I see a lot of people being intentional, and I'm over here like yes, self-care. Because if you don't have it, I'm telling y'all, it's gonna make a world of difference. And like I said, getting therapy, that is always, I am a huge advocate for therapy, because I think it is something to have a non-biased person there that can support you. But what I'm talking about is before you get there, before you get to the place that you got to go out on FMLA, before you get to the place that you got to go out on medical leave because everything is just so crazy that you cannot even process life. Before you get to that place, let's get us to the place like right now where we feeling okay, like we think we feeling okay, right? That place way before we're even there, because the goal is maybe we can stop that. Maybe we can get in a place, in a good enough place, in a self-loving enough place, we can get there so that we won't even need to go out on FMLA. We won't need to get medical leave. We won't need to see a therapist because we put the time in, right? We were intentional. We put the effort in at the beginning so that we don't need to be in that place. And it's not easy. I don't want to make it seem like it's an easy thing to self-love. It's not. It's like, you have all this stuff going on. You have all these influences because the world's not nice. I mean, you have nice moments, but you have hard places to be. When I talk to teenagers, I do a girls empowerment group called GEMS, and it's called Girls Encountering Mindset Shifts. And so when I'm talking to my teenagers about life, I'm like, that stuff y'all dealing with in the high school, please believe I'm dealing with it at 41, which is crazy. When I was in high school, I can't wait to be an adult, because you ain't got to deal with this drama, this girl drama. You ain't got to deal with this boy drama, like all this stuff going on. Like that was my visual. Like I ain't got to deal with all that stuff. And I deal with that stuff. That's the most mind-boggling thing to me ever. I was like, how I'm grown, and I'm working, and I'm dealing with girl drama and women drama, and just like all this even more crazy stuff. So when I talk to them, I'm like, you still want to deal with that drama world, but to a higher level. So in the midst of that, you have people saying negative things. You have people, hating on you. You got people who does not have your best interest at heart. You got people that are fake, right? You think that's your friend. You think that's somebody who got your back. You think that's somebody who, at the end of the day, I know they got me and they ain't got you. And you like, oh, wow, they don't have me the way I thought they had me. All those things tear you down, right? Like no matter how much I say I'm a strong Black woman. My mama raised me to land on my 2 feet. As I'm falling, she's taught me how to think in my brain and process before I hit that ground and have a plan in place. That's just how she raised me. But at the end of the day, every time I got to do that, it chips at who I am as a person. And it does. It chips. You have those moments when you are still, and then it's negative talk and all these things that can really kind of get into your spirit. So who gonna build you up? Like who gonna build you up? You can't lean and depend on other people to do that. You can't sit there and say, oh, so and so my best friend, and she been my best friend for 20 plus years, and she got my back. Yes, sis may got your back, she may, but ain't nobody got your back like you got your back. Let's be very clear. Nobody can represent Sharonda like Sharonda can represent Sharonda. Sharonda go to an interview, I can tell you all the good stuff about me. I can rock that interview and walk out with a job because I am taking the time to build myself up. I am taking the time to fill my cup, to fill it up so that it is not always at the bottom. And in that coffee pot, and you be at that bottom where all the little crud is. It ain't always down there. I'm not saying don't get there. It's been there. It's gotten there before, but with God's help and with prayer and with self-care and self-love, I've been able to fill my cup 10 times over. Like seriously, 10 times over, I've been able to fill my cup up. And I want everybody to be able to do that. And it's not easy. It's not easy if you're not intentional. If you say you want to do it, but you don't activate it, it's not going to happen. I mean, think about all the things in your life that you said, I want to do this or I want to do that, but you weren't intentional. So it never happened. It never came to pass, right? It never actually happened. So what I'm telling you to do is for self-care and self-love, be intentional. So being intentional means come up with a plan. Come up with a plan. Make that plan and make a small plan. It doesn't have to, like I said, it doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be, I'm going to go on a trip once a month. Like, really? In COVID, how you going to do that? You can't really go on a trip once a month. You can't really make that happen. But you can, for 1 week, sit still in my room for 5 minutes. Or I have a favorite show. You can say I have this favorite show. Life gets so busy, normally I don't get a chance to watch it. But I'm going to make sure once a week, I'm going to watch my show. Right? I'm gonna go in my room. I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna watch my show. And I'm gonna make sure that I dedicate that time for that. I'm gonna read my Bible, right? I'm gonna take one day out the week and I'm gonna read my Bible. That's self-care. I'm gonna do devotions in the morning. Every morning from 7 to 7:30, I'm gonna do devotions. That's self-care. It's so many ways that you can make self-care happen. I'm gonna drink water. I'm gonna drink 64 ounces of water every day. That's self-care. It's something to get started. And when you can see yourself being consistent because you were intentional with it, you can pat yourself in the back. You're like, all right, self, look at me. I'm doing that thing. I'm making that happen, right? I'm doing it. I can't tell, like right now, I am in a healthier me journey. It was a healthier me journey before January came. It was really important to me that I started because I didn't want it to be a resolution. I wanted it to be a life change. So for the last 4 months, I have been working on me. I've hired a nutritionist, Organic Chrissy, who has been working with me on my food intake. And for 3.5 months, that's all I did was I modified my diet and lost 42 pounds. So y'all know I'm all in. Like, I'm the type of person, you ain't got to show me but once. I'm like, look at me getting all skinny. So, and now I've added another element of exercise to what I'm doing. That's self-care. It's hard, y'all, though. Just because I'm self-caring don't make it easy. It is hard. Do y'all know how hard it is to eat the right thing? And I got kids. My kids are not on no healthier me journey. They eating what they want to eat because they have youth on their side, And so while I'm watching them eat their burger and they fries, and I'm over here eating some three wings and 4 carrots. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard. It is so hard. It's probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. But it's so in my control, right? It's so in my control. What I put in my mouth, I can control that. And so I've really been being consistent with that, even though it's hard. I've been intentional. Every time I eat, I take a picture of my food and I send it to my nutritionist. That's being intentional and accountability. So those are just some examples. So put in the chat. Let me know. Are y'all guys self-caring right now? I see I got a few viewers on right now. Put in the chat if you're doing any self-care. Had you even thought about self-care? Had that been anything that you've thought about recently? With everything that's going on with the pandemic, I think it's even more important to self-care. I think it's just a lot happening. There's a lot of loss that's happening right now. I mean, not even just big loss, not even just death. I mean, but you have, even with the kids not being in school, that's change, and change is hard. And everybody's trying to adjust to what's going on. And so in this time, had y'all guys thought about self-care? Are y'all guys doing it? Is your family doing any self-care? Are y'all doing any self-care activities together? Right now, there's a lot of isolation going on, right? Because people are quarantined because they've been exposed. excuse me, people are quarantined because they have COVID. We have a curfew of 10 o'clock. So it's a lot of at home stuff, right? Not leaving your house and doing everything from home. And so are y'all taking the time to self-care and make sure that you're loving on yourself? So put in the comments and let me know, and I'll kind of look at some of those and kind of see what y'all guys have been doing and haven't been doing and what's working for y'all. We talked a lot today about permission, giving yourself permission to self-care, giving yourself permission to love on yourself. And I really hope y'all guys are getting something out of this. It's important to me. God really put it on my spirit to implement this and really, really take this serious and have these conversations. The conversations I'm having with y'all guys is stuff I talk about all day, every day in my work world. Like, I recognize that God allowed me to do certain steps in my life to be a blessing to people, to be a blessing to myself, to be a blessing to my children, but also to be a blessing to other people, because you don't know what you don't know. Isn't that true? Like, you don't know what you don't know, right? So because I've been exposed and I've been exposed to information, I've been put in a position where I have a little bit of knowledge about a little something, I have a little bit of knowledge about a little something. And so where I'm always imparting my knowledge on my children, which I do all the time. I talk to them all the time about self-care. I talk to them all the time about loving themselves. I leave the door open so they can talk to me and we can come up with ideas. We do self-care activities as a family quite often. And it's great that I'm doing that in-house, right? Because that's where it starts. And God gave them to me. God gave me these two beautiful children, to be able to raise them, in a godly way. And so that's definitely what I try to do. But in the same token, me holding it here, it doesn't help anybody. It doesn't. Like I said, I do this work at my school with the youth that I work with there and with the staff that I work with there. But I think it's important that if you're not aware of, or you don't have the knowledge about how certain things can be helpful for you, if somebody has it, we should be giving it. A few years ago, someone prophesied to me and told me I was a carrier of favor. You never heard that before. I was like, what would that mean? Trying to look it up. But what a blessing it is for someone to tell you that you carry favor. And so if I'm carrying that favor, I want to give it. Let's sprinkle it. With all my overflow, I want it to sprinkle on everybody who's around me. I want everybody to be blessed. I want everybody to be favored. I want everybody to be able to reach whatever goal, whatever mission, whatever you have, whatever you feel like God has told you was your thing. I want you to reach it. And if there's any way that I can help, is there any way that I can just, help guide and do those type of things? I'm going to do it. So me having these Sunday conversations is because it's just that important. I mean, like, I don't know any other way to express how important it is for self-love and for self-care. It has to happen, because if you don't take care of you, nobody else is going to do it. Nobody else is going to make sure that you're good. So you got to start with taking care of you, being intentional, giving yourself permission to take care of yourself, and then executing it, right? It's great to be able to come up with a plan. How many times you've seen, you can be people who come up with these great, awesome plans. They're like the bomb. Like, it's like they're going to do A, B, C, D, and E, and then they're going to show you how to do A1, A2, B1, B2. Like, they got this awesome, awesome plan, right? And then they've given themselves permission. That was step 2, right? Give yourself permission. So they said, all right, I got this great plan, and I'm going to give myself permission to do the plan. And then nothing, right? Nothing happens. And then next year they come up with this great plan again, and they give themselves permission to do it, and then nothing. So it's important to, after you have come up with the plan, after you've been intentional to come up with your plan, and then you've said, self, it's okay for me to execute this plan, then you have to do it. You have to actually execute it. You got to do it. No matter how silly it sounds, or how silly. And like, I feel like the conversation I'm having on your end, it may sound really silly, or it may sound like, it makes sense that you got to do it. But think about the things in your life that you plan to do that you just didn't do. You just didn't do it. You didn't purposely not do it. You didn't do it because life happened and you got busy, or something happened or anything like that, and you never got a chance to execute this awesome plan. And so, like the other day, I posted on Instagram or Facebook or both. I said, I'm not going to die with all my great ideas being in a notebook. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to execute everything. I'm going to use everything in me to execute the things that God has told me that I'm supposed to do. And so, with this self care, I'm telling y'all, God is telling y'all to self-care. He's telling y'all to self-care. He's telling y'all to self-love. Y'all got to execute it. Come up with your plan, be intentional, give yourself permission, and execute the plan. And I promise you, the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll feel in it, the better you'll feel, the lighter you'll feel. You know what I'm saying? I know that there have been times where I've just felt so bogged down, just so overwhelmed. Like I can't even think straight. Like it's just like so much going on. And I'm trying to be everything to everybody, and still look like I got it going on because I know people looking up to me. I know I got little cousins looking up to me. I have employees looking up to me. I have my kids. I have all these people looking up to me. So I still got to have it together. But I'm feeling so overwhelmed and bogged down because I'm not taking the time to take care of myself in the process of life happening. Because life don't stop because I feel bogged down, right? The sunrise every morning, the sunset every night. Like it doesn't stop. So one day turns to 2 days, it turns to 20 days, it turns to 40 days, it turns to 80 days, and so on and so on and so on. And in the midst of it, you in this bubble, not taking care of yourself. So then the way you feeling on day one, you haven't done nothing about it. So day 10, you're feeling worse. And then you're feeling worse. And now all of a sudden, now my mental health's at jeopardy, right? My emotional health is at jeopardy now because I haven't been doing what I needed to do to take care of me in these steps to get to where I'm at now. So I just really hope that like this information, is something that can be very useful for you. Like I said, every Sunday I'm gonna be here. Every Sunday, 7 p.m. Right now, I'm broadcasting on everything. I'm broadcasting on my personal page. I'm broadcasting on Naturally Shaboo. I'm broadcasting on YouTube. Naturally Shaboo on YouTube. I'm gonna reshare this again because it's that important, and I'm pressing it. I'm pressing upon you to really do it. So I'm going to recap real quick. So we talked about being intentional. Yes. So we talked about what intentional meant when it comes to self-care and self-love. So we talked about coming up with a plan. So doing a self-care plan. So these are the steps. That's that intentionality. These are the steps that I'm going to do to ensure that I'm doing self-care. Then we're going to give ourselves permission, right? We're going to say self, whoever self is. So for me, it's Sharonda, it is okay for you to take 5 minutes to sit in your room every day with your door shut. It's okay for you to do that. You don't have to feel guilty about it. You don't have to feel like you're not doing something. It is okay. So we're going to give ourselves permission. And then we're going to execute the plan, right? So we got our plan. We give ourselves permission. We execute it, which means we do it. Just do it. Just do it. Try it out for a week. And then after that week comes, try it out for 2 weeks. Then try it out for 3 weeks. Try it out for 4 weeks. And what do they tell you? Anything you do for 30 days now is a habit, right? And so you hit that 30-day mark. Y'all don't even know how bad I was trying to get to 30 days with this healthy eating. Because I was like, oh my God, it's going to be a habit. It's going to be a habit. And my body's going to be used to it, trying to just get the 30 days, girl. Just get the 30 days. And then I got to 60 days, right? Then I got to 90 days. And now when we go out, it's not a hardship for me to say, oh, I want water. I don't want sweet tea. Sweet tea was my thing, y'all. I'm drinking sweet tea. I love sweet tea. I still love sweet tea. I had sweet tea in so long, but sweet tea was my thing. So, but it's not a hardship for me to say I want water instead of sweet tea because I pushed myself. I pushed myself to that 30-day mark. Then I blinked my eyes and it was 60 days. I blinked my eyes and it was 90 days. And now I'm into month 4. So just be consistent. Just do it. Just do it. And you can monitor how you feel. And that little notebook I was telling you about, little 99-cent notebook, 99-cent notebook. Go and write down how you feel. That's that journaling. Now I'm trying not to get into it too much. I want to talk about it next week, but you write down how you feel. Write down how you feel. Sometimes you don't have nobody to talk to. Sometimes you don't have a husband or a wife at home that you can sit and talk to. It's just you and your kids. And you can't talk to kids about adult stuff. You know what I mean? Like and there might be things that you don't want to share with your bestest friend because it's that inside stuff. Write it down. Write it down. It gives you, y'all don't understand, like when it's written, you can go back and look at it and see how far you come, right? So if I'm writing on day one that I don't know how I'm not going to eat what I like every day, and then on day 30, you go back and look, and now you're talking about, oh, I did it. So you're encouraging yourself by what you've written, and you have an avenue that you are getting it out. When we don't get it out, it just builds and builds and builds and builds till we can't take it no more. Now we exploded. Think about times where you just go off for no reason, right? Like it's reason. I mean, something small happened. So let's say your child didn't wash the dishes. You've been telling them to wash them dishes every day. Every day, wash the dishes before I get home. Wash the dishes before. So this is a real life experience. Can y'all tell? My whole heart was like, wash the dishes before I get home. So you tell them to wash the dishes. Wash the dishes before you get home. Monday, you tell them wash the dishes won't wash. Tuesday, you tell them wash some dishes won't wash. Wednesday, you said wash the dishes won't wash. Thursday, you tell them wash the dishes not wash. Now, in the meantime, while you telling him, yeah, know I'm talking about Jermaine, right? I'm sorry. So in the meantime, while you're telling him to wash those dishes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you at work and work crazy because the pandemic here and you trying to maintain kids or you trying to do whatever, or there's some stuff going on in your family that you ain't know about and it's causing some friction. All this stuff is still happening Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then Friday, you come home and them dishes now washed and you flip the whole kitchen over. You flip it over. It's like, it's no way to stop you. You are like a tornado coming through like nobody's business, right? But it's because all this other stuff's been happening every day that week. And maybe you need to write it down. Go into your little quiet corner, get your little pen. I got a super nice pen I got from a church. I get my little nice pen and I sit here and I jot down how my day was. Things that went really well, things that didn't go well. What's my goals for tomorrow? Take the time. That's self-care, y'all. That's self-care. And it's not even a huge thing, right? Before you go to bed, you got to lay down. So you can put your little journal right beside your bed. And before you close your eyes, before you say your prayers and you go to sleep, you pull that bad boy out and you jot some stuff down. One of my coworkers for Christmas got me this awesome journal. So this is actually I haven't written it yet, so I gotta do better. I'm going to use it, but it is a Unplug journal, and basically within this journal, over here has your morning activities, and this is telling you what your goal today will be about spending hours off screen. Because we're on a lot of on-screen time right now. Like, can y'all remember when professionals say kids shouldn't be having so much on-screen time because it doesn't allow their brain to calm down, right? It doesn't allow them to get into a better space. But what's happening right now? They on that Chromebook, they on that laptop all day because they're in class and they're trying to get work done. And so it's a little bit off from what we've been taught as professionals and as parents on what needs to happen with children. But because of that, our on-screen time has increased so much. So this particular journal gives you a goal every day of how many hours you're going to spend off screen. And then it gives you a planner. Intentional, right? Keep talking about that. Intentional. Y'all remember nothing else. Intentional. So this says daily off-screen planner. And so I could write down things I want to explore, things I want to move, things I want to learn, things I want to help, and things I want to prep. So it gives you an opportunity to actually write down and come up with a goal for the day. And then on the other side, this is all for one day. Both sides are for one day. So I know y'all can't really see it, but okay. So on this side, this is accountability. We're going to talk about accountability maybe next Sunday since I already went to journaling. But This is the accountability page. So this page says, today I spent blank hours off screen. So this says I will spend, and this says I spent. So did you meet your goal? If you're saying today I'll spend 5 hours off screen, did you meet that? Did you really do it? So that's that accountability. It gives you an opportunity to write what I enjoy most from my off screen time, any challenges that you may have, and what your mood is. And so, like, sometimes it's hard because we always want to say we happy, sad. There's other moods. So here you have cheerful, calm, lighthearted, gloomy, stressed, angry, anxious, tired, motivated, lazy, reflective, romantic, hopeful, tense, bored, confident, grateful, or other. So it gives you an opportunity to write in some other emotion that you're having. And then it gives you final thoughts, like any final thoughts you have for the day. And then you're going to flip that bad boy the next day and you're going to do it again. Then you're going to flip it again and you're going to do it again. You're going to do it till we 365 days later. And then we're going to have a whole book of intentionality, accountability for off-screen time. So I'm very appreciative of this planner. My kids laugh at me because they say I get so happy about planners, and I do, because I'm a paper and pen person, and it's something that's helpful for me to kind of stay on track. So this is a really a good book. And so I definitely encourage getting a journal. You don't have to get a super fancy one. Like I said, get a 99-cent spiral back notebook and start writing kind of what your thoughts are, and how you can hold yourself accountable, how you can be intentional, and how you can give yourself permission. You know? Whew. So does anybody have any questions? I done been all over the place in this conversation. We didn't start it here. We didn't did a circle, a U-turn, a flip, but I hope you were able to get something out of this. I'm going to end our conversation today with affirmations. So I'm not sure if y'all guys have done affirmations, if y'all do affirmation. But what's really important with the self-affirmations, I definitely do them. I have little sticky notes around my mirror that I look at, I say, I help to encourage myself. I said to y'all guys last Sunday that it's good to be able to speak into yourself, to speak positivity into yourself. Because whenever we leave these nice walls of our home, we're going into the world. And the world's just not that nice. It's not. You have nice moments, you have nice people, and we want everybody to have our best interests at heart, but they don't. And so it's very easy to have like chunks of yourself knocked off, as you're going throughout your day, because people are saying things, and people are doing things, and people are being, fake, or, you have all these things happening throughout the day. And so when you get back home, you're trying to build yourself back up. So affirmations are really good for that. There are books of affirmations. You can YouTube and do affirmation or find affirmations. I do a self-affirmation group at my school with fifth graders, because the things, I don't know if y'all know, the things that normally happen in middle school for sure happen in elementary school now. Fourth grade, fifth grade, the things that they have going on, love triangle. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on with our younger babies. And so dealing with a lot of self-harm, suicidal ideation, suicide attempts. It happens a lot more than probably what you would think. When I was in elementary school, I didn't even know there were social workers or counselors and things like that, because that wasn't in my world. And so to be a school social worker, to work with school counselors, and seeing the level of mental health work that we do, it's important that we have these social emotional groups to be able to give our babies an opportunity to talk about how they're feeling, to give them an opportunity to learn different coping mechanism and coping mechanisms, so that when they have things that are happening, they're able to remember, oh, I can do a mindful moment, oh, I can do a self-affirmation, or I can reset my thinking, I can do deep breathing, just having those things for them. So when I started doing self-affirmation groups, it really, really, really helped me. It put me in a better mindset for incorporating these affirmations for myself. Because if I can build myself up as much as I can before I leave these doors in the morning, I won't be cut down so much when I get back. So I plan on doing self affirmations at the end of all of our self care talk. Because I think it's important. I think it's important for us to practice talking to ourselves. I mean, like literally what I'm doing now is like talking to myself, but it's good to be able to talk positivity in our lives. If you haven't heard a lot of positive talk, it's hard to be able to do it. So you can find them. There are books, there are things on YouTube. If you have like Kindle, you can download different books and different topics. If you need any suggestions or ideas, I can throw some your way. But we're going to do a self affirmation right now. So my affirmation is in my iPad because I can't remember everything. So what I'm gonna say is I want y'all guys to repeat after me. So I'm gonna read it pretty slow in your own space, in your car, in your house, wherever you're at right now. I want you to repeat this this affirmation. And before I say it, so I just want to kind of recap. We've done a lot of self-care talk, a lot of self-love talk today. And I've gotten a lot of ideas for some that you may know and you do already, and some that you may not. I would say try it, try and see, try a mindful moment and see how that works for you. Do it with your family. It ain't just got to be you. Do it with your family and in your household. You could, when everybody get home, when everybody get out of class, when all that start happening, you can say, as a family, we're going to do a mindful moment, and that's going to get us started for the part B of our day. If you don't know any, YouTube it. YouTube mindful moment, 3 to 5 minute mindful moment. I promise you, like 75,000 going to pull up. You can type in mindfulness. There's other activities. There are mindfulness coloring activities. There's mindfulness music. There's a lot of different avenues out there that you can address. Okay, let's do our self affirmation. So I want you to repeat after me. I am about to walk into the most abundant, balanced, wealthy, and successful period of my life. I naturally attract good fortune, and I am wealthy in more ways than one. I give myself permission to prosper, and I have the power to build the life that I desire. This is a very quick couple of sentences affirmation, but y'all hear how powerful it was? Just imagine if you said this to yourself every day. Every day, I'm about to walk into the most abundant, blessed, balanced, wealthy, and successful period of my life. I naturally attract good fortune, and I'm wealthy in more ways than one. I give myself permission to prosper, and I have the power to build the life that I desire. Come up with an affirmation for yourself. Come up with an affirmation for your family. Come up with an affirmation for your children. God, I mean, like our babies, y'all just do not recognize how much they deal with in a day. Elementary age is just a lot. It's a lot that goes on. And so if they can learn how to speak into themselves and talk positivity and then do it consistently, it really just, that's self-care. It's building them up. It is building them up. Then it's giving them a foundation for how to build themselves up when they're feeling overwhelmed. Because as they go from kindergarten to first grade to second grade to fifth grade to eighth grade to 10th grade, they're going to have moments where they're overwhelmed. And so if they can have a foundation for how to build themselves up with these different tips and these different self-care activities, they're already 10 steps ahead of the game. So I want y'all guys to share. I hope y'all enjoyed our conversation today. I appreciate y'all taking the time and hanging out with me on this Sunday evening from 7 until 8 o'clock. I look forward to getting any messages. Please comment below. I do go back and look. Comment below any information that you want to share about your experiences as it pertains to self-care. And then we're going to do this thing again next Sunday. Next Sunday, we'll come on board. We'll talk a little bit about any experiences that y'all guys had. We might address journaling a little bit more and accountability, but we're going to talk a little bit more about self-care. And I'm going to have some sort of self-care activity that we will practice as a team, because we're a team. We got to learn how to do this thing. So I hope y'all guys have a super blessed week. Going back to school, going back to work, going back to all these different places. I want you to be intentional in all that you do. I want you to give yourself permission to love on yourself. And beyond that, I want you to have a blessed week. See y'all later. Bye-bye.